Hello. Thanks for choosing to listen to Two Birds, One Stone. I forgot to record the ad during the episode, so here's a message from our sponsor, DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is my go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. Same-game parlays, easy and fast payouts, player prop options, all reasons to choose DraftKings. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Check this out. Right now, everyone can earn up to a 100% boost with DraftKings stepped up same game parlays. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, player props, point totals, and more. The more legs you add, the bigger the boost, the bigger your shot to win big. If you want to win money, just bet against the Cardinals. That's always a good option. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code TPPN. Place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with the code TPPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Enjoy the show, everybody.
On offense, Judon and McCourty. Mr. Steady on the back end for the Patriots. Here's Murray. He takes off and stumbles, brought down at the 44 as he picks up 3. And after going down awkwardly, you can't get up.
I thought when he went down, Joe, it didn't look to me like he tripped as much as just something went out on him. And maybe that right leg, just as he plants.
Well, this was the scene just a moment ago. As they brought the card out, Kyler Murray had to get on. The frustration, the heartbreak. Players from both sides coming up to him.
Yeah, it's tough. There's no doubt. You see teams go through it every week, but you lose your starter on third play of the game. Kind of a deal, non-contact. It's just tough to watch and see, and you got to be able to rebound and continue to play the game, though.
You were hurt. Kyler put a lot into this. He's been preparing his butt off to get back after the hamstring, so for that to happen, I hate that for him. I know he'll recover and get back to himself.
Welcome back to Two Birds, One Stone, an Arizona Cardinals podcast. And we're all dead inside. Not because the Cardinals lost on Monday Night Football. They did, 27-13. We're not shocked by that. We're dead inside because Kyler Murray on the third play from scrimmage goes down, as you heard in the opening clip, with now what's been confirmed as a torn ACL. Obviously out the remainder of this season. But now the worry is, with the injury happening here in December, is he even going to be ready to go by the start of the 2023 season? So just when you thought things can't get any worse, right? This has just been a season from hell. They do get worse. Garrett, thoughts?
Yeah. I think what was keeping me okay with this season is knowing that we have a good draft pick coming up. There's going to be some hope, some optimism. We're going to have a full, healthy team going into next year. The offseason, we still have, some hope to it's not like we're the Texans and Davis Mills is our quarterback and whatever. We have Kyler Murray, who's our franchise quarterback, who's all-pro, even MVP caliber. So you have that hope going into next year, and now with this injury, it almost like ruins all that. I didn't really even comprehend. Whenever it happened, my first reaction was, okay, well, if this were to happen, it could not have came at a better time. But it turns out that time would have been like 4 weeks to go because, like you alluded to, he might miss time next year. So if that is the case, this whole offseason is just going to be hinging on whether he or not he's going to recover from a torn ACL. And you don't want that because you don't want to rush your franchise 24-year-old, 5-year-old quarterback back quickly.
Yeah. Could be lots of negative implications with that. Not only that, but in terms of Sean Payton sweepstakes, if you're Sean Payton or another offensive-minded or any kind of head coach, Now what's this job look like? You have no idea what you're getting from Kyler Murray. Like, not only maybe you weren't a fan of him in the first place, now you've got this injury lingering. You've got the contract. You don't know if he's ever gonna. Maybe you are a huge Kyler Murray fan and you're Sean Payton. Now you don't know what if he's never the same going forward. A guy that is that electric when he's moving around in the backfield, scrambling around, making plays with his legs. We have no idea what that's going to look like. And I know that's a negative way to look at things. But here in a minute, I'm going to go through some quarterbacks that have gone through this similar injury and are similar type players. Some ended up being successful and some fell off a cliff. But in terms of the actual situation when it happened, like I said, third play of the game, you've got a run by James Conner, then a first down on a check down, and then he takes off scrambling. And obviously it's no contact. So, I mean, we have the confirmed test of an ACL, but anybody that's sitting there watching the game, you've watched the NFL, you've watched college. If there's a guy that drops like that and he's not touched, it's almost 99% of the time it's the ACL. So you already kind of knew that. And just watching the team come around the cart, and because after it cuts to commercial break, you're just like, oh shit, who knows? Maybe it's an ankle. He'll get up, walk off. And then when it comes back, everybody's around him on the cart. He's got the towel over his head. It's like, fuck, okay, this is the real deal. This is the bad shit.
Yeah. There was no worse feeling than seeing your franchise quarterback being put on a cart and carted off the field. I don't think that there's a worse feeling in watching sports, especially your young franchise.
And then you see all like the tweets. Yeah.
You almost said RIP, or like prayers up, prayers to Kyler or whatever. But yeah, that sucks.
Or just the who was it? Josina Anderson was like over by the tunnel. It's like just Kyler Murray was just carted past me. He's actively sobbing on his way to the locker room. It's like, fuck. I know, like, we know, I think if you watch, like, you know, he gives a fuck. But like for anybody that questioned that if he cared, the dude cares. Like, this is his career. This is not only like this is his team. Like, he's trying to prove something these last 5 weeks, even with playoffs kind of out of the question. And then, like I said, that gets taken away from him. And then you obviously, and even that, like, you know, these athletes in those situations, like, they're thinking about that, like, fuck, the season's over. This sucks. But they're also thinking this next 10, 12 months, whatever it's going to be, is going to suck ass. You have to put in so much work, not just physically, but mentally, to get yourself right, to push through these kind of things. Like, it's torture. You hear some of these athletes talk about it coming back, how much work it takes. So you just hope that he has it in him to push through and get back to the kind of player that we've seen the last couple years.
Yeah, it just makes me so nervous just because you've seen so many quarterbacks on the line be so injury prone, and it seems like he is injury prone. I mean, every single season he's played, he's had an injury, he's missed time. It's
mostly nagging stuff, but yeah.
Right, but either way, I just don't like the way it's trending, especially with how down of a year he had this year. I just don't like the way it's trending.
In terms of investment too, I mean, that's another part of it. Like, the year after he gets all this money and this kind of thing happens, it's a lose for everybody around. So I don't know. I've got a list of 3 other quarterbacks recently within the past decade that have had this kind of injury, and we'll kind of go through their timeline and what their careers have looked like since. So most recent, I think the most relevant is Joe Burrow, obviously. So his rookie year, he comes out, he's looking great, number 1 overall pick. The team's not winning, but late in that year, late November, he gets his knee gets obliterated in a game against, I think, the Redskins. Torn ACL, torn MCL, and he's done for the rest of the year. Joe Burrow, obviously a different style of quarterback, but Burrow ends up coming back and playing in week 1 in 2021. He ends up getting comeback player of the year, obviously leads the Bengals to the Super Bowl. But during, I think, media week of the Super Bowl, he said he never felt like, yeah, he came back week 1, but he didn't feel like himself physically up until like the midway point of the season. So obviously it's a different type of player. Like I said, Burrow is a pure pocket passer. He doesn't need that lower mobility as much. But since then, I mean, he's playing great this year. He seems to have completely kind of put that in his rear view. So that's one good positive, I would say. I think that's a positive case study. Number 2 was Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, again, his rookie year, 2017. I don't know if you remember this. When Deshaun Watson's rookie year, he didn't start right away. And then when he got to start, he threw like 10 touchdown passes in 4 games. He came out just absolutely firing. But early November, he tears his ACL in a practice. He also comes back week 1 of the following season. I don't have any quotes about how he felt, but he ended up throwing for 4,100 yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 picks. And then you ask, okay, well, he's kind of mobile. What did he do on the ground? He ran for 550 yards and 5 touchdowns. So a guy a little more similar to Kyler's play style, kind of comparable, a little bigger guy, but I mean, that works out. I mean, it doesn't seem like, at least the numbers don't say, that he was limited in mobility.
Yeah, kind of what I think as well. I don't know if I would really, I don't know. Carson Wentz tore his ACL too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's another guy like that. It's kind of weirdly similar to what Carson Wentz kind of went through, because that year before he tore it, he kind of had an MVP type.
It was the same year. That was a Super Bowl year.
Oh, that year. Gotcha.
Was it his ACL? I don't know. I think it was a knee. I think you're right, but
I don't know exactly, but either way, it just scares me, just because,
well, those are supposed to be 2 of the good ones, and I was going to finish with a bad one. So.
Okay.
All right. This second overall pick from the 2012 draft, Robert Griffin III, led the Redskins to the playoffs his rookie year. If you remember, he was electric. 3,200 yards, 20 touchdowns, 5 picks. I think he had the best passer rating in the NFL that season. On top of that, he had like 800 yards rushing, 7 touchdowns on the ground. You thought the Redskins were like, the Redskins lucked out by getting RG3. The Colts should have took RG3. Like, both were good, but at that point, RG3 was the dude. He tears his ACL in January, so the latest of any of those guys. It might have been a playoff game, actually. Tears his ACL. His whole plan was, I'm going to be ready for week 1. He rushes back. He does make it back by week 1. He throws for 320 yards, 326 in week 2, 227 in week 3, 4 touchdowns over that stretch. I think the Redskins were only 1-2 though. After that, he got hurt again, and then he was never the same. So you're looking at 2 guys that Joe Burrow, not really a similar play style. He rushes back a little bit, but he ends up weathering the storm. He's all right. Deshaun Watson, a little more similar, still not quite. Comes back for week 1, has success on the field. Then who knows all that shit that happened after. But RG3, unfortunately, is kind of the most similar player comparison-wise. And it never ended up really clicking again after that. So obviously, as a Cardinals fan, we hope that we have a different result here. But in my opinion, that whole situation was caused by RG3 pushing and pushing and pushing. Like, I've got to be ready for week 1, got to be ready, and pushing it too far. Because if that's why, like, if Kyler has to miss the first month of next season, it is what it is. We can't be fucking around, as we talked about earlier, the financial investment as well. Like, let's take it easy, make sure that this guy is ready to go, and not force him onto the field when he's just not there. We've seen it can go badly.
That's exactly what I was going to say. If he does not start week 1, I'm not going to be like pissed. Like, no. Even if he doesn't play half the year, I'm not going to be pissed. Like, we're stuck with this guy for fucking 6 years. So, I mean, it's like you said, more of an investment than anything. If he doesn't, I'm not like, oh, I hope he's back week 1. I don't want him to be back. I want him to take more time than necessary, just because, sure, we get a 60% Kyler Murray back for week 1 versus letting him rest and heal and just come back stronger on week 6, and then I don't know.
It makes
get
complete, yeah. No, you make 100% complete sense. Yeah, so that's the situation with Kyler Murray. If he is not able to go, do you want to run through some quarterbacks that maybe we can target? Let me say a quarterback, and you say if you would prefer Colt McCoy. So let's say Kyler's out for the first 6 weeks, month and a half. Would you rather have Colt McCoy or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay. Would you rather have Colt McCoy or Andy Dalton?
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy, Carson Wentz.
Colt McCoy.
I agree so far. Colt McCoy, Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
I agree with that as well. Wouldn't that be fucking something? Baker and Kyler in the same locker room.
It would be.
Now, these two I think are kind of interesting because if Cliff is still around, which who knows, this injury might have bought him some time, unfortunately. Yeah. But these kind of fit the system a little more than the ones I named above. Oh, wait, or Marcus Mariota. That's interesting.
Marcus Mariota.
Same thing. How about
it's exciting.
Colt McCoy or Tyler Huntley?
I just don't feel like we've seen enough of Tyler. I think is good. But first off, I don't think that the Ravens let him go. But hypothetically, I would probably just go Tyler Huntley just scheme-wise. Just because of our offense. I feel like he'd fit it better than Colt McCoy. And just because he'd be exciting. With Colt McCoy, the good and bad thing is exactly what you're going to get with him. And he's not going to go out and put up Patrick Mahomes numbers or whatever. He's going to run your offense, and he's going to run it, without any surprises. I don't know. Tyler Huntley would be fun.
I think that would be a cheap option. I think that's something that you could bring both of those guys in and kind of see what happens. I have no idea what his contract situation is. I'm really not sure. I know Lamar is a free agent, obviously, after this season. But that was just kind of a backup that's out there, lingering, somewhat similar of a style of play. I'd throw the dart and see what it looks like heading in, see what it looks like in training camp.
I think that they would end up sticking with Colt. I
think you're probably right.
It seems like they like him. Like the team likes him and the front office likes him. I think that they would just stick with Colt if it was.
Well, fuck, what if he might just up and retire? The guy is taking a fucking beating. Like it is sad to watch him out there and play.
Yeah, and it's not him. Anybody would take a beating. Lamar would take a beating. Mahomes would take a beating out there. It's terrible.
He's such a sweet guy too. Like, okay, so the Patriots sacked him 6 times. He never stood a chance. Like, he didn't play terrible. Like he was playing how Colt McCoy plays. Just takes what's there, trying to get the ball out as quickly as possible. It got similar to the Niners game. It started to kind of look like that towards the end. But this is what he had to say after the game.
I gotta be sharper for sure. Same with Hollywood. I've never played with him. So the games that I played early, he was out. So there's some things that I need to work on with him, and I trust all those guys. We have a great group outside, and if there's a finger to blame, pointed at me, I gotta make some throws that would help us in this game.
And as you can tell, like he took total accountability. Like he's like, if you're going to point the finger at anybody, point it at me. I'm the guy. I'm the quarterback. He sounded so sad.
Yeah, he did.
Like
everyone did. Everyone did. He probably realizes he's going to have to get his fucking ass beat for the next couple weeks. Their offensive line is so trash. But yeah, I don't know. That's another reason why I think that they stick with Colt if he fucking wants to stay, first and foremost. Just like I don't know, that's just good leadership because it really wasn't his fault. And I feel like anyone who watched understand it wasn't his fault. The offensive line was just so atrocious, and I have to just feel bad for him. It
He
sucks.
stood in there like he always does, but it just wasn't enough. We can kind of get into the game a little bit now. It's kind of hilarious when you think about it. So the Cardinals kick a field goal to go up 3-0 later on. So they have the early lead. Later on, they go up 13-7 before the 2-minute warning in the first half. What was the final score? They went up 13-7. Do you remember what I said the final score was?
27-13, is that right?
27-13. The Patriots scored 20 unanswered after the Cardinals score touchdown to go up before the first half. After that, they score to go up 13-7. They get the ball back. Cardinals are facing yet another 4th-and-1 situation. This one, okay, you said last week, go for it all the time. Be aggressive. I love it. This one, let me try and convince you otherwise. Okay, with Kyler Murray?
With Kyler,
okay.
Yes. Not with Colt McCoy as your fucking starting back, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So they decide to go for it, 37 seconds to go. Instead of kicking a field goal, making it a 2-score game. Here I am in the camp. Anytime you can go up 2 scores, go up 2 scores. If that's what you can do, especially with the Patriots getting the ball at the start of the second half, they elect not to. Cliff's credit, the play call was a pretty well-designed play. Colt McCoy rolls out, and he just doesn't put enough air on it. The closing linebacker gets a hand on it, and he's not able to get it to McBride. But a good throw there, that's an easy first down. But here's my problem. Even if that's an easy first down, you have no timeouts. Let's say there's 30 seconds left on the play clock. You're only at like the 35, 40-yard line. What are the odds you're going to still go down and score a touchdown? Odds are your best case scenario is still 3 points. So maybe you take 2 shots to the end zone prior to that, but like there was the risk reward there is just not there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. That's just kind of another. I kind of think that could be another good example of Cliff himself just kind of freaking out whenever the clock ticks down. Like whenever the clock's going low, he's like, I go for it on 4th down a lot. Here we go. We'll do this. But I feel like he kind of forgot Kyler Murray wasn't his quarterback. And like you said, you're going to be backed up to your own 40, or not to your own 40. You're going to be on the 40 or 35-yard line. At best, you're going to have maybe 3 plays you can get off. And, for what? You're going to gain 30 yards in 3 plays and score a touchdown whenever you can just, take the 3 points, like you said.
Yeah, they didn't get it. Don't get it. The Patriots get the ball back right there on a short field with 2 timeouts. They end up getting a field goal before the half. So they make it 13-10 before the half. They get the ball first. They kick a field goal on that drive, tie it up. And just a matter of that swing of being able to go up 2 scores compared to failed conversion, field goal, tie game. When it could have just been a little more you give yourself a little bit more of a cushion, because the Patriots are not a good fucking football team. Yeah, they're 7-6 right now. They're better than us, football team, and they're not good enough to where offensively to when they're in a deficit. You know how we kind of talked about if the Cardinals can play with a lead, they can stick to the script and kind of run the ball and do what they do, and it just looks better offensively. The Patriots are similar in that way. If Mac Jones had to come from behind from 2 or 3 scores, good fucking luck. They're a mess on offense. But they did enough. Like I said, 20 unanswered. So not great.
And the worst part about this game, it didn't really get that many cool Steve Belichick shots, I feel like.
No,
that's kind of what I was looking forward to, is prime Steve. Him making his weird ass face or looking like a fucking homeless person. We didn't really get much of that.
No, that is unfortunate. I guess we can talk about a little bit of the positives. One positive, Najee Sanders played a career high in snaps, 32 snaps. I thought he had a pretty good game. I think they each had a sack. Cam Thomas for sure. Let me pull it up. Yeah, Najee Sanders had 3 tackles, 2 solo. Zach Allen. Oh, there's one. Zach Allen needs a contract extension ASAP. That was one of in my notes. I was like, got to talk about Zach Allen playing awesome this year. And then he breaks his hand. He's out. So still deserves a contract extension. He's the man. But right when you're like, okay, Kyler's out, well, we got Zach Allen still. He's fucking tearing shit up, breaking skulls. And he breaks his hand. He's out next week too. So like you can't catch a fucking break. James Conner played well again. He's that touchdown run, and it was only like a 10-yarder. That was like vintage last year, James Conner.
Yeah.
He just carried like 7 guys for 5 yards to get into the end zone.
That was him last year, carrying, and probably what you'll see at the end of this year, him just literally carrying the entire team.
There was only
and then Marco Wilson.
Yeah, Marco Wilson played all right.
Is there any updates on?
I don't have any.
Got hurt towards the end.
Yeah, no idea. So there's another one. Not that I'm aware of.
Jesus Christ. The team is so hurt. I don't think I've ever seen them field a worse team. Yeah, no, that's not
yes,
true.
you have. Yeah, no, you have.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, for sure. As bad as this team is, it is. I don't know. I mean, I think still head and shoulders talent-wise above 2018.
Yeah.
As bad as it is, that just tells you how bad 2018 was. But back to James Conner, 15 carries for 85 yards. Only one other running back had a carry. He just has all of the workload. Keontae Ingram had 1 carry for a yard. Other than that, the James Conner show, he had 6 catches as well in this game. If you've got James Conner in fantasy down the stretch, you're looking in good shape in terms of just snap count. Like there's nobody else. He's going to be out there for the whole entire game.
Yeah, he's definitely proven that he's worth the fucking money that he's been paid.
Yeah. It's a dumb contract no matter what because he's a running back, but he's still a big heartbeat on the offense. So him playing well is something. A big play in this game was the Hopkins fumble, and we don't love to rip our star players, but what the fuck was that?
I've known it was going to happen for so long because he holds. That's what he's always done. It's been fine. I mean, it's only a matter of time before it happens. And I was really expecting the announcers to rip into him more than what they did. Like they kind of said a little bit about it, but then like that's like an easy dig. Like he always does that, and everyone's like, we got to protect the ball, and he never fucking does it, and then he gets up. Fumbles like that. I was expecting.
If his name wasn't DeAndre Hopkins, they would have, I'm sure. But at that point, I believe, was it a tie game or were they upset? I think it was a tie game, and that touchdown made it 30 or 20-13, or did that put them up 27-13? Either way,
put them up.
Either way, not good. Come on, D-Hop, hold on to the ball, buddy.
Oh.
I don't know. Other than that, it's just the disaster continues. If we lose on Sunday and get a little bit of help, we are literally sitting at pick number 2 in the draft. So
that'd be sweet. That would be something to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Pick. I think if it falls, if the ball does not bounce our way, the worst we would be looking at would be the 5th pick. Is that right?
Right now we're at 6 due to some tiebreaker, I believe. But there's not. If we won another game, I'd be surprised. So we can only go up.
I don't know. So here's a really, really early draft preview. Who would we even look at that spot? Do you even know?
I got number 2. Yes, Jalen Carter or Will Anderson. You got 2 bona fide
it is
studs.
The pass rusher from Bama, right?
Will Anderson's pass rusher from Bama. I think it's Jalen Carter, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm not in draft season yet, but he's a D tackle for Georgia, and he's just a fucking freak. Humongous. A couple of his pass rushing moves went viral a couple weeks ago. He's a freak. So if they were to be lucky enough to land either of them, then we would be. I would take that. Sign me up.
That would be scary. Zach Allen, if we get him back, JJ, and then one of them cats. Yeah, that'd be scary.
Yeah, Zach's an unrestricted free agent, so that's fingers crossed there.
Is Caleb Williams eligible to come out this year, or is that next year?
He is not, because if he was, I don't care who the fuck you are. You take Caleb Williams. I've been telling anybody that can listen to me that, and he's since won the Heisman, but I've been on this for this whole season. I stayed up with my son, my child, staying up late with him when he couldn't sleep one night. And I was watching the Pac-12. I think it was like the first Utah USC game when USC actually lost that game. I bet on him, so that sucked. But Caleb Williams is fucking, this sounds terrible to say, and I know it sounds terrible. He looks like Patrick Mahomes. The way he moves in the pocket, his arm, like it's all effortless. It's smooth. One thing I don't like is how he finger paints his nails, say like, fuck Utah, fuck Notre Dame. That's not franchise quarterback behavior to me. But everything else, I love you, Kyler Murray. That fucking guy is going to be Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be right there. Mark my words. It's written. It's recorded now in history. Caleb Williams is going to be the fucking man. So that's early 2024
that
draft
sucks
talk.
that we can't.
Hey, maybe we can.
Early 2024 draft.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Kyler has an RG3 career. Maybe that's what he has. That's what I've been worried about. Maybe his career ends up like RG3's. That's what I've been worried about.
For that. We're not rooting for that at all.
We're
rooting for a speedy and quick recovery.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah. This sucks. It might be the worst week we've had while doing the podcast.
Yeah, and I apologize. I tried to have the energy at the beginning. I was trying. I was like, welcome to Two Birds, One Stone. Yeah, welcome to the show. We got a good... No, it's hard to do that. It's been a bad week.
Yeah.
So if it's your first time listening to the show, come back next week. Maybe we'll be in a little bit of a better mood. But this week...
by the fucking Russell Wilson-less Broncos, who might be better without him.
Jeff Driscoll, baby. He's got a wagon. He's got a dump truck back there. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Jeff Driscoll.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
That it would be typical of this season if you lost to Jeff Driscoll. That's for sure.
I don't want to get it twisted. I hope they do. At this point, all you can hope for is a better draft pick and like losses that are so bad you can laugh at them. That's it. That's all I had to look for.
Yep. So I don't know, man. That's what we got. I was going to get into, I guess, just a quick, the fact that they officially wasted Kyler's rookie deal, that hurts bad. This was a cheap year because of the contract extension and the way it was structured. And next year is cheap. So next year, if he is out for any significant amount of time, you have officially ruined your rookie quarterback window that everybody talks about is so important. You 100% wasted it. So that's very Arizona Cardinal of us. And it hurts.
Yes. Yep. Makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know. Black Monday will be early January after the final regular season game of the season. We'll see how it all shakes out with Kyman Kingsbury. Until then, we'll get back on this fucking show every week and we'll just keep taking the punches to the jaw and roll on, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
That is right. We got an Instagram page now, so go follow the Instagram page. We'll put up clips and stuff like that on there. Other content that works a little better on there than it does for Twitter. Like, subscribe, download all of our shows.
Smash that like button.
That's right.
Smash that like button.
That's right. Other than that, you got anything to leave them with, Garrett?
Let me think of a quote. No, I don't. I can't think of a quote.
I was going to say that's what I ask you every single episode to end with, and you never have anything. So get on it. Be ready for next week.
It always gets better. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, except when there's no light at the end of the tunnel. I'll leave you with that.
We've been waiting for a light since 1948, brother. So, all right. We'll see you guys next week. We appreciate you listening. Go Birds.
Bye.